Hello everyone, this is Jim Nix from nomadicpursuits.com, and this video is all about presets in Aurora HDR 2018. There's a lot of presets built in. They give you a lot of flexibility in editing your images, and we're going to walk through some tips and tricks on how to make the most of them. Now, if you open Aurora, this is a 3-exposure HDR that was already blended and brought into Aurora, and this is a Native American cemetery outside of Taos, New Mexico. There's a lot of detail and interest here in the foreground and a nice cloudy sky. So we're going to apply some edits with presets and have some fun with this photo. So you open it up, you have your base image here. To get to presets, you just click on this icon here. Now the preset box will open down below, and if you click on categories, it will open up a preset category menu. You can choose various preset categories and just click through them and see everything that's included in Aurora. I'm going to stick with the basic category for this image, and I'm going to start with the realistic preset. Now, once I click that, it will apply automatically to the photo, and if you like it, you can leave it at 100% opacity, or you can drag the slider there to reduce the opacity. You can also do that right up here with that opacity slider. Now, you'll notice these two filter names have turned orange, and that's because these are the two filters that are used to make up that preset. Now, there's a new feature in Aurora HDR 2018, and that is the overlay preset feature. Now, if you click on that, one click will automatically create a new layer, and it'll keep your preset menu open. So you can say, hey, I want to add a new preset, and you can just stack them layer by layer automatically without going to create the layer yourself. Click overlay preset, and the new layer will be created. I'm going to use deep sky. But in looking at it, it's a little too intense. So what I want to do is I want to reduce the opacity. So I'm going to drag that down to something like that. And now again, these filters in orange are the ones that have been employed by this preset. And I think it's a little too saturated. So I'm going to go into color, and I'm just going to take the saturation down to, -20 or so, something like that. And so I've adjusted that preset, even though it was built in and automatically added to my photo. You can come in here and actually add additional filters to this layer with this preset on it, or just adjust the sliders within the filters that are used on the preset. If you make enough adjustments and decide you like it, you can just click Save Filters Preset, and it'll come up here and it'll save with whatever title you input, and then click Create New Preset. Okay, so I think the photo's looking good, but I want to add a little bit more detail to the foreground image. So once again, I'm going to click on Overlay Preset. It'll create a new layer, which is now Layer 1, and I'm going to grab HDR Look number 1. Now again, it's a little too intense, and as you can see, it applies at 100% opacity across the entire photo. That's too much for me, so I'm going to reduce that by about, down to about 60 or so, maybe something like that. I think that looks a little bit better, but once again, it's still a little too much. And really, I just want this in the foreground. So I'm going to go grab the brush and make sure you're on the proper layer. And I'm going to grab paint, and my brush, I'm going to increase with the right bracket key. And I'm just going to paint this preset adjustment onto this layer just in the foreground here. That's really the only place I want to apply that. With the left bracket key, I'm going to shrink my brush and just make sure I paint all that. And all I'm doing is applying this to the foreground so that I don't add any of that sort of extra detail or texture into the sky. If I click on that icon, that will show me my mask, shows me what I've missed, and I can come in here, paint over that, and there we go. Now I think that looks good, so I'm going to say done. But once again, it's a little too saturated, so once again, I'm going to go into color, and I'm going to take that down to, -25 or 30, something like that. I think that looks a bit more realistic. And so there you go. We've added presets to 3 layers, the base layer, layer 0, and then layer 1, using the overlay preset button, which is a new feature in Aurora. And then we've made some custom adjustments on each layer to the filters within the preset, and on this layer even masked in the preset just to the foreground to get to the final result. So the before and after, this is comparing to the center exposure from the bracket set. There's the before, and I think the after looks really nice. Even with multiple presets on multiple layers, by being able to dial back the opacity and customize the filters, you're able to really get the look that you want without having overdone it unless that's your choice, of course. So that's how Aurora HDR works. That's some tips on using presets and layers. And if you have any questions, let us know. We hope that it helps, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again.